It's not perfect, but it shows still look good, you know what I'm saying? The hood definitely looks a lot better than it did. I got some trash in there, so we're gonna have to cut and buff and get that stuff situated. But, you know, like I said, we got to the finish line, y'all. What's good, Grind Schoolers? It's your boy Rob, and we back in the shop today. So today what we got going down is we are going to officially paint all the parts for the Impala, and we are going to do touch-up paint on the car. So pretty much what I gotta do is I gotta wrap the whole car up, except the areas that I missed, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a second. Except for the areas that I missed, and we are gonna go ahead and paint the trim parts on the car. So right now I am currently taking the little plastic or whatever it is off of the wheel well trim that came off of the car. It's really difficult to get it off, man. That adhesive is on there like a mug. So it's really difficult to get off. And the reason why I pretty much probably didn't paint the trim pieces is because the day that I painted the car, I was trying to get all the trim pieces ready to go, and I just couldn't get that adhesive off. And I tried. I picked off as much as I could, and now that I put it back on the table, I'm starting to think like, man, dang, I should have just did it all at once back then when I painted the whole car, because there's not that much on there. But I remember I was just sitting here in the garage and I'm just looking at the time like, man, I don't have much time to get this car painted. And I ended up just giving up on it. And now here we are, 6-7 months later, more than that, like 8 months later. And I still got to paint trim parts. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this camera around and show you guys what I'm talking about. Before we jump into the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, because it's gonna be a lot that needs to get done, but we're gonna get it done. So let's go. All right, y'all, so I got my heat gun out. Pretty much what I'm talking about is this piece here. This piece is the plastic that goes over the chrome trim on the back wheel well. So obviously, you know what I'm saying, most of you guys that do have Impalas and stuff like that, you'll notice that there's, you know, like this, and the front as well, I think has the same type of coating over it. It's like a plastic rubbery, probably like polyurethane or something like that, I don't know, but it's like a coating that goes over the chrome strip on Impalas, you see. And it's really difficult to get it off because it's stuck on here. So like I said, I have the heat gun and I'm trying to get it off. But when I stopped painting the car, or when I first painted the car, this is all I had to do. You know what I'm saying? This is all I had left to get off of these trim pieces for me to be able to paint the car. Now, the reason why I didn't finish getting all the stuff off is because before I started painting the car, I started to take this stuff off, and it was just taking so long. And I knew that I was crunched for time because the weather was gonna turn on me. It was gonna get cold, and I wasn't gonna be able to spray the paint. And luckily, I painted the day that I painted the car, because I painted this car the very last day that I was available to even paint the car, with the temperature being high enough to even paint the car, if that makes sense. So with the viscosity or whatever it is for the paint that I have, it has to be between 75 and 95 degrees in here. And the temperature that very last day was between there. And then after that, it was done until the summertime this year. So this was in October when I sprayed the car. That was the very last day that I was able to even spray the car. And I'm lucky that, you know what I'm saying, like I finished before, you know what I'm saying, it got too cold. But if I was continued to work on this and get this stuff off, then I would have probably, you know what I'm saying, missed the mark to even spray the car. And I know that sounds like real crazy, but it's true, man. I was really, really in here like pushing. And if you guys go back to the video of when I first painted this car, you can see that I'm filming at nighttime. I'm filming at nighttime because it took me all day long because I knew that I was gonna have to get it done. Because I just couldn't chance with the weather turning so quickly the way it did. I think I finished spraying this like late October, mid-October or something like that. And that's what happened. So anyways, that's the reason why now we are, you know what I'm saying, like getting to this now. I wish I would have done it before because I could have put the whole entire car together. But I mean, it was wintertime anyway. The car wasn't going to be driven. And I had other things to do on the car. So now we're getting to it. We're going to spray all this stuff and we're going to get the stuff back on the car. So the parts that I had a little bit of oversight on this car, as you can see, this bumper right here needs to be sprayed on the back side of it. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mask up the whole entire car everywhere, and I'm gonna spray the back end of the bumper. I showed you guys this in my last video, but if you guys can kind of tell, you know what I'm saying, the car is pretty much right up against the garage, and it's not all the way up against the garage as far as like I can't get around it and I can't do anything with it. However, and this bumper was off at the time, but when the car is lifted up, because it was lifted up on like jack stands, I was overreaching as far as I could get, and it was hard to keep, you know, keep my angle and keep my hand, you know, in the right spot, you know, with this candy. And that's why, like I said, I kind of flared it out a little bit. But once I take the grill off, you can see it better. But I didn't get the front. You can see a line here of primer. You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very noticeable. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape that off and I'm gonna spray that. I'm gonna wet sand the hood 600 grit, and I'm gonna re-clear the hood because, like I said in my last video, it's so you could tell it's a little rougher up here than it is back here. So that's another spot. Also too, this back bumper has the same exact thing as the front bumper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape all this up. I'm probably gonna detach the bumper a little bit. I'm gonna tape all this up and I'm gonna spray in here so that, you know, that's all good. Also too, I don't know how I missed this, but back up in here between the window and the body, I pretty much gotta sand this back down. I'm gonna Scotch Brite it up and I'm gonna spray that too. This black part right here, where I painted, where you see the paint, that shouldn't be there. It should be black. So I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna just tape from like right here in the middle over the window, and I'm gonna get up in there. So those are pretty much the pieces that I missed on the car when I painted it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're not that big of a deal because, for one, you know what I'm saying, you're never gonna notice, you know what I'm saying, any color difference in between the bumpers, underneath the bumper or whatever like that, and underneath the grill. You're just, you know, it'll just be painted instead of, you know, being gray. Like right now you can tell obviously because it's gray, but once I paint it, you won't be able to tell. Now, if I had missed a spot, like say for instance, right here, dead in the middle of the fender, then, you know what I'm saying, we might be SOL because you'll be able to tell like there's like a blotchy spot right there with candy because you can't paint match with candy. I also kind of, like when I pulled the the tape off, you know what I'm saying, like I kind of messed up some areas on the side of the hood, like right here, you know what I'm saying, it kind of peeled the tape off, the paint off. I think I'm gonna leave that there though. I don't really necessarily care too much about the hood because it's gonna be down anyway. I don't know that I necessarily want to get that or not. I don't know. I'll make the decision once I'm done. I might actually get it, matter of fact, just so that it's some type of, like, it's continuity and everything like that. It's just the edge of the hood. So I'll probably do that too. But yeah, anyways, man, like I said, I'm going to keep on plugging away at getting this off of here. And then after I'm done getting this off of here, I'm going to go ahead and clean these up really, really good. Scotch Brite the hell out of them so they're really, really scratched up. And then I'm going to do my adhesion promoter. And then I'll go ahead and prime these all up. So We're gonna get after it. We're gonna get to it. And then one of these, this one here, I need to bend a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect trim by any means. And these two front pieces of trim, it came off of a Caprice. This came off of a Caprice, and this came off of a Caprice, because I only had this one from my Impala. I think this is on, so this would be the driver's side. Yeah, I think this is the driver's side. The reason why, or no, that's the passenger side. The reason why I only have one of these and I don't have the wheel well trim is because when I first bought this car, the fenders, both fenders were completely trashed. The bumper was completely trashed. And so I had to replace the fenders and the bumper. And so I don't remember if the bumpers had the wheel well trim on it or not. I know one of them was completely, like the fender was completely destroyed. This side, the driver's side, the fender was completely destroyed. The bumper was completely destroyed. On the driver's side, the passenger side was kind of like not as bad, but it was, you know what I'm saying, it just wasn't it. So I'm sure that the trim on this side was completely like messed up. The trim on the passenger side might have been there, but I just didn't really pay attention to it. And I just took the fenders off, trashed them, and I was whatever, moved on. So that's the reason why I don't have the trim for the Impala. But yeah, man, let me stop rambling. I will go ahead and get this off, and then I'll cut y'all on once I start, you know what I'm saying, Scotch brighten up the trim and stuff like this. Sorry, y'all, this might be a long video. I might have to break it up or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we get into it because I want to get my Impala put back together, so that, you know what I'm saying, we can ride, man. Not to say that I'm pretty much going to like ride the Impala a lot this year, because I don't even drive the Elko that often, man. Just when I can get it out, as much as I can get it out. But I want the car to be at least ready, you know what I'm saying? So that when we go into the winter season, I could just get the motor ready, get my motor transmission, throw it in there, and then we'll definitely be ready next season. So anyways, let me get to it and keep working. All right, y'all, so we got everything sanded down, set up, ready to get sprayed. I sprayed the adhesion promoter on everything, so that we could start priming everything up. You notice the cars aren't in here this stage. I'm gonna just prime all this stuff up real quick and get it nice and pretty. And then after that, we'll get ready for like the paint and stuff like that. I got my wheel well trim all hung up. And so, like I said, it was a time trying to get that adhesive and stuff off of this wheel well trim, the back. It was really difficult, man, but all I did was use the heat gun and it made it a lot easier. I scuffed it up with Scotch Brite real tough, so everything should be good to go. Like I said, we're gonna wait about 5 minutes, get that adhesion promoter stuff working real good. I'm about to go ahead and mix me up some primer, and then I'll go ahead and spray this stuff. Spray the primer, and then we'll move on to, you know, base coat, candy and clear on both this and the car. So that will be the next thing that y'all see. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, it take a couple seconds for y'all to see it, but it's probably gonna be a couple days for me. It took pretty much all week to get these parts all cleaned up. You know what I'm saying, about 4 or 5 days just to get everything cleaned up. And I really took my time too, though. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't rushing anything because it's not like it needs to be done right now. Car's already painted. This is just lagging stuff that needs to get taken care of. But we're gonna go ahead and spray it up, mix the primer, and then, yeah, we'll let it sit. And then the next couple of days, I'll come back, hit it with the base coat, candy, clear coat. We'll be done. We'll put all this stuff back on the car. And yeah, man, we'll, you know, keep working. All right, y'all, I got everything sprayed up. We're gonna have to go through this with some sandpaper and clean some of this stuff up. Like, you know, you got little bubbles here and there because that paint can was like sputting out or spitting stuff out. I'm gonna just lightly wet sand over it. And then, you know what I'm saying, same thing on these. I'm gonna just lightly wet sand over it in certain areas. But it looks pretty good, man. I'm not concerned about perfection because these are not perfect by any means. But you know, I'm just looking to get them real good, looking real good, so I could put them on the car. So, anyways, like I said, we on to the next phase. Go ahead and, you know, wet sand some of this stuff, and then just to get like the knock down the high spots, and then after that, man, it's on to the base coat, and then on to the candy and the clear. Like I said, man, I'm just, you know, like I ran out of paint in the can to put through the gun, so I started to use a little rattle can that I have for primer. It's the same exact primer, and I used it for like touch-up paint on the car, or touch-up primer in certain areas. After I sanded it down, wet sanded it, I went back and I sprayed that can on there so I didn't have to keep loading up the gun and stuff like that, and it worked out pretty good. So I just used the rest of that. I used the entire can of primer on that, and I got what's it called, the adhesion promoter on there, so we should be good, man. I got about 3 coats of primer on everything, and so you know, we shouldn't have any issues other than like the can spitting out like it did. But I probably just didn't shake it up long enough, which is probably the culprit. But like I said, it's not gonna be no thing. We gonna obviously let this stuff dry. You gotta let it dry for like 4 hours or whatever. So I'll be back out here the next day, probably early in the morning, hit it off with the wet sand. And then after I hit it off with the wet sand, I might be able to get to the base coat, candy coat tomorrow. I don't know yet. It all depends, because I still gotta wet sand the hood, and then cover up the car, excuse me, and get it all situated before I start spraying this stuff. Because now that I'm to this phase, I could, you know, do the base coat here, base coat in the areas that I missed here, and then base coat in the areas that I missed up there and then back there, and then go to the candy. And then after I get to the candy, I'm gonna go ahead and take the plastic off of the hood, and then I'm gonna re-clear the hood, and then re-clear all the rest of the spots that I need to clear up. So like I said, it'll probably take me a couple of days to get all that done. Just depends on how long it takes me to wet sand the hood and wet sand the areas that I need to wet sand on this car. Shouldn't take too long, but you know, with how my time has been, you know, I don't really know. So that's the next phase, wet sanding. And then after the wet sanding, we can go ahead and start painting everything up, and we'll be good to go, man. And we can finally clean this garage and finally get it painted in here and get all of this stuff cleaned up over here. I'm gonna get rid of this box of stuff, and we can start building the motor and putting that stuff together. But yeah, anyways, man, like I said, a couple of days for me, a couple minutes for y'all, or a couple seconds for y'all to see these in, you know, in base coat. Yes, sir, we getting to it, y'all. So right now, I'm just wet sanding the hood. Let's see if I could dry it off. I've been kind of working on it a little bit, but take all that wetness away. It looks all, you know, normal, shiny, like it just got water on it. And then you'll see it start to dry up and fade away, and then the hood will start looking faded. So pretty much I'm just gonna flow coat the hood. That's why I'm sanding it down, because when I go in to try to fix this front part, this front piece, where you can still see primer a little bit, like I didn't, if you could see, the car is right up against the garage, and like the garage was kind of like about right here when I sprayed it. So it would have been real difficult to like spray. I could have opened the garage just for that portion, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was getting dark, it was getting cold, and I was just trying to finish up, man. So mistake on my part, but I should have walked across the front of the car when I did it. So now I'm going back to try to fix that part, right? So I got to take off the grill and respray that part, just so you don't see the primer. It won't be perfect, but oh well. But now what I'm doing is I'm flow coating the whole hood, because I also feel like up there, I missed a little bit of clear as well. So pretty much I got to flow coat the whole hood so I could re-clear the whole hood after I fix the front part. And then that part will be flow coated. I'm debating whether I should flow coat the whole entire car, but I think eventually I will. And my time frame I feel like would be probably like October or something. But at the end of the day, like, I just want to fix what I can fix right now, because I don't want to get into the weeds of trying to flow coat the whole entire car and then you know what I'm saying, it just sits here for another couple weeks because I can't get to it. So I'm just gonna do the hood for now. Then when I go back in and I flow coat the whole entire car, I'll just wrap up the hood and do everything else. And I just, you know, do it like that. But anyways, man, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to cut and buff. Go ahead and flow coat this hood. I got my 600 grit wet sand. You can start to see like it's starting to dry up and it's starting to look dull. You can see it looks dull. This is the, like I said, the flow coat process, you know what I'm saying? Cut it down and then, you know, go ahead and hit it with the clear over it. But I still have clear right here, so I got to get these parts. I'm kind of being real careful on the edge though, because I'm not trying to crest over the edge, because I'm not trying to mess it up. So I'm being real careful and real cautious or whatever, and I'll probably start doing like the edges by hand. But yeah, man, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out, and then we'll move on to the next stage of the process, I guess. So I got everything masked up. I got everything ready to go, get sprayed up. This was a huge undertaking, really wrapping the whole entire car up in the areas that I need. Speaking of which, I still got some areas, still got some areas I gotta uncover and do whatever I gotta do real quick. Almost missed those, but like I said, for now, I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing up this sterling silver, this silver base, and then I'm gonna start spraying all my parts, and spraying all the areas like this front area that need to be done, and then we'll be on the candy after that. But man, I'm telling you, it took forever. It took like 3 days just to wrap up the car. I've been obviously taking my time, but I'm not trying to miss nothing. I'm not trying to miss no areas because I don't want to have to go back. So and then I got everything like done according to, you know, how it needs to go. So now I'm about to spray the silver base. After I'm done, I spray the candy base, or the candy, over the silver base where it needs to go. And then after I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and unmask the hood and then clear everything together, and we'll be done, man. And like I said, we'll be able to put all this stuff back and keep it moving. So let me go ahead and spray everything up and get this thing done, man. Finally. It's taking forever, but you know, like I said, I don't want this to be a crazy long video, you know what I mean? But this has been like literally like a couple weeks in the making, you know what I'm saying? Just because I had to obviously sand down all the parts and pieces, get those all prepped, primer them, go ahead and mask everything up. So it's been a process, but we almost there, y'all. So let me go ahead and finish this up and yeah, keep it moving. All right, y'all, we got this silver base laid down, you know what I mean? And so now we about to lay the candy. This is that part that was kind of like a little bit light, so I'm gonna see if I could kind of get it a little bit better than what it was. I mean, I'm taking a big risk, but whatever, man. That's what life's about, risk. Anyways, got the front all good. Everything's good, man. I'm gonna try to take my time, walk around the car, take my time real good, and make sure I don't miss no parts at all. So we almost done though. I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing up this candy. I'm gonna spray the candy, and then I'm gonna spray the clear coat, and then we'll be done, man. And then I'll be able to finally clean all this up, put the car all the way back together, and then we'll move on to the next project, man. Realistically, I'm trying to get to like I said, getting my two-wheelers. And then, you know what I'm saying, we'll start building this motor. So I'm about to make this Impala something to something to look at, man. I mean, hopefully it's already a looker, but we gonna get to it. But anyways, man, let me stop talking. I know this video is super long, so I'm try to keep every little interlude or whatever short. And then just, you know, keep just showing y'all part of the process. So let me go ahead and finish up, and we'll conclude all of this. All right, y'all. So we got everything all sprayed. Sad news though, man. I ran out of paint. So unfortunately, I mean, I'm gonna just have to play it as it lies, you know what I'm saying? Like they say in golf, gotta play it as it lies, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it kind of sucks because, you know what I'm saying, like it's not like I could just grab another paint can like I could on the Elco and just pour the paint up, mix it up and spray it. Like this was a whole mix. So yeah, that's not happening. I tried to get the most important pieces, which are the fender liners or the wheel well trim, and the other trim pieces, and then the front piece that was very, very, very noticeable. Everything else, like I said, I just gotta play it as it lies, man. Not really much I could do about it. Just is what it is. So had I painted this everything all at once, I probably wouldn't have had that problem, but I thought I had just enough paint, man, and I just ran out. It's 3 coats on the car, and some of the pieces only have 1 coat, some of the pieces have 2 coats. And yeah, like I said, it just be how it is. I mean, you won't really be able to tell the difference. You could tell the difference in between the gaps when it's like silver, but when it's like color, you won't be able to tell the difference. So like I said, man, I'm just gonna have to play it as it lies. Ain't nothing I could do about it. And yeah, I mean, shit, whatever. But most of the pieces, you know what I'm saying, or pretty much all the pieces that needed to be sprayed, you can't see, you know what I'm saying? And nobody would ever know unless I pointed it out. Once again, like I've said before, and I said it before, this ain't a perfect paint job, and this is my first time doing candy, but it is what it is, man. We doing the best that we can, you know. This car will probably get resprayed one day. I'm pretty sure, somebody asked me in my comments if the hood is gonna crack. I'm pretty sure it might crack one day. Who knows, you know what I'm saying? But car's good until then, because it's fiberglass onto steel. And if it does, I'll just get a steel hood and then probably at that stage respray the car. Probably go back with the same color, just do it a little bit better. But anyways, man, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up the clear, laying down the clear, and we're done with this, man. Like I said, I kind of messed up on some of these pieces too. Like right here on this one, you could tell it's lighter. Let me see. It's kind of hard to tell. On the back side of it, it's lighter. You know what I'm saying? Right there, you could tell real good. But like I said, man, ain't much I could do about that. I could have probably hung these better, but it is what it is, man. It's a garage paint job. It's just gonna be how it is, you know? Now, if I was to have a shop and I was able to have the space and the right, you know what I'm saying, equipment to lay everything out, have all the things, the hangers for everything, it would be so much easier just to be able to walk around. But you can see my trim is all the way up against the wall because that's pretty much the only place I figured where to hang it from all at once. And then you see I got my trim all on boxes, chairs, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole thing, but you know, we gonna get it done. And don't worry about the wall or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and spray, or I'm gonna go ahead and paint the garage this week, so this will be different as well. So anyways, let me stop rambling, man. I'm about to mix up this clear and get this job done. All right, y'all, there you have it. Everything is all done. You know what I'm saying? Now we just gotta wait for everything to dry, and then we can start mounting stuff back up. And then eventually I'll get to the cutting and buffing stage. So I guess the next things that I gotta do, because you can see like I don't know how this happens, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get all that off. So I'll probably just, you know, wax it, clean it real good at first. And then after that, yeah, cut and buff it eventually. But anyways, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Everything looks good. Did all the little touch-up areas, and they look great. So no harm, no foul. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. But it shows still look good. You know what I'm saying? The hood definitely looks a lot better than it did. I got some trash in there, so we're gonna have to cut and buff and get that stuff situated. But you know, like I said, we got to the finish line, y'all. Now we can finally piece the car all the way back together. Gotta obviously clean the bumper off and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we can now finally piece the car back together. And then when I'm ready, I could just cut and buff. And then, yeah, I mean, ain't nothing else to say, really. But now I'm gonna start putting, like, since all this stuff is done, I'm gonna let it dry for about a day, maybe 2 days, just so that when I go to touch it, it's not soft, and I put fingerprints on it when I go to put everything back together. I might let it sit for a couple of days, and then I'll go ahead and start piecing everything back together, getting all the plastic pieces at the bottom done and put back together. Go ahead and start detailing the car, getting it all nice and clean and shiny. And then she'll be ready to go to the exhaust shop. So, but yeah, man, this has been a journey. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks for me to like really get everything. It took me like 3 days just to mask up the whole entire car. And here it is about 8 o'clock on Saturday, and I just now finished. I started early this morning, probably about like, I don't know, probably about like 7. Started kind of trying to mask stuff up, trying to get everything solid. And then I had to obviously do the base coat, candy clear, and let things dry and, you know, hold out for a minute. But anyways, man, like I said, all the missed spots are good. I'm gonna do like they say in golf, I'm gonna play it as it lies, and that's how I go, man. If there's any blemishes, oh well, it is what it is. I did the best I could. I ran out of paint, and this is where we're at. I think it looks great. Definitely looks a lot better than what it did when I first got the car. So, but anyways, man, I'm gonna stop rambling. We finally are finished with painting all of the trim pieces and stuff, man. I didn't know it was gonna take me that long, but it did, and now here we are. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know it's a long video because I had to go through all the stages to, you know, get the parts sanded down, cleaned up. I had to sand the hood down, 600 wet sand the hood down so I could flow coat it. And now that I flow coated it, it looks a whole lot better than it did when I first sprayed it. Just because, like I said, it was missing a little bit of clear up front. It was cleared, but it wasn't cleared like it needed to be cleared. So I sanded all that down and re-cleared it. I got the edges of the hood resprayed, so those look good. No more like light spots and stuff like that. I got all the top edges of the doors. I got all in between the gaps that I missed, and I painted all the trim pieces. The only thing that I'm kind of little upset about is, you know, this one right here. It's got just a light spot, and that's just due to this one that's hanging. I couldn't get it to stay up. It kept falling down. So it is what it is, man. Like I said, we're gonna play it as it lies, and you know, that's how we're gonna rock. And then we go ahead and get all this, I don't know what it is. It's like haziness, overspray, or whatever it is. We'll go ahead and get that up off of there. And then, yeah, next thing I'll do is probably paint my tail lights, get that re-blacked out, and then, yeah, really nothing else, man. Just detail the car, get the tint off, and she ready to roll, man, and get obviously my exhaust done. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video. I know it's long. If you made it to the end, I definitely appreciate you. Thank you guys for rocking with me. As always, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video. Always remember, work hard so you can live free.